you. Welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 221. 221. How have I talked 221 times? And then I've done well over 100 like Monday Fires. Wild, right? It's a lot of talking. But I love my podcast. Thank you guys. We've just hit some really big thresholds in the podcasting world in terms of like, we were named as the top 20 podcasts by, oh gosh, now I'm going to have to look it up here because I don't want to get this wrong. But we were named in the top 20 podcasts for making money in the online space last week. This came from Daily Finance. I mean, how cool is that? It listed my podcast, The Jennifer Allwood Show, right up there with Jenna Kutcher's Gold Digger, and with Shalene Johnson's. And so that is quite a recognition to get, and I'm super duper grateful for that. So very cool. Thank you guys for being here and just being, I don't know, you're just good. You're just good people. You're constantly sharing my podcast on Instagram, and you're constantly like forwarding it to your friends. And every time you do that, it matters. So thank you. I am determined for a woman of faith to be able to be on some of those lists and take a rightful position at the table, because I think that women need to hear biblical truth mixed with business strategy. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. And if you've never actually subscribed or followed my podcast, please make sure that you do. So attached to that, since we just had that, recognition online for being in the top 20 podcasts for making money in the online space, I want to talk to you about that today, because we just recently finished my Better Way program, which is 8 different ways of making money in the online space. But there are 3 ways in particular that I want to give you guys just some really basic ideas here today. For those of you who are like, I've listened to Jennifer's podcast for 900 years and I want to make money online. I've been doing this, but I want to do something else. I just don't know what it is. Or I was in this industry and I want to shift over here and I just don't know where to start. Or I was thinking about doing a course, but I'm not sure, should I do a membership site? Because what I have found to be true is that a lot of times people will look at all of the options in the online space and they'll freeze, because sometimes too many options causes women to get stuck. First time I ever actually saw this play out, by the way, it was when I owned my painting company. So I owned my decorative painting company in Kansas City for 17 years. And I would take my little portfolio. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you're seeing me pretend to carry my portfolio like a weirdo. So I'd take my little portfolio and I'd go into clients' houses. And let's say we had a woman who was maybe wanting to do like decorative painting on her office walls. Okay. So I'd take my whole portfolio, which had like 100 options in it, 100 things. And sometimes I would see clients like they'd glaze over. And they'd say things like, just so many options, so many pretty things. Gosh, I don't know what to pick. And that they would end up kind of like, you know what? I'm not really sure. I don't think I really know what I'm looking for, Jen. I might come back and give you a call when I kind of have a better idea of what it is that I'm looking for, so that I'm not wasting your time. So I was thinking in my head, let me take in all 100 options to these women and they're going to love it. And they're going to be like, this is fabulous. No. Too many options create a lot of stress for a lot of people. And so I know that some of you, you're looking at all the options for yourself in the online space and you're feeling a lot of stress about that, because you're like, there's just too many. And so I want to simplify a couple things for some of you today, especially if you're somebody that is a maker, a DIYer, a painter, or a creator. Like, you're my favorite people just because that's the industry that I came out of. And so if you are any of those things, adding a revenue stream is really easy for you. It really, truly is. And so I started as a painter, then I started doing DIY painting videos. Then I started teaching like webinars on the topic of painting. And then I switched to a membership group. Then I launched a course. Then I launched one-on-one coaching. Now I've launched a mastermind. So like, it can grow and build and change. And there's lots of options. But if you are in those spaces like makers, DIYers, creators, you have so many options. So I just want to talk about 3 of them today, to keep it simple, because simplifying it sometimes is the key to you guys actually doing something. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Real quick though, I'm going to read a review from Christy Marcotte, who says, This is a spiritual kick in the butt. I absolutely love Jen's podcast. Her business wisdom and insight based on God's word is amazing. It's a weekly spiritual kick in my business butt. I look forward to every episode every week. I'm super grateful. So, Christy, I am super grateful for you. I even said that in Fear is Not the Boss of You. I said, hopefully you feel like I'm kicking you in the butt, but hugging you at the same time, which, as you know, unless I'm a contortionist, is really not possible for me to kick you in the butt and hug you at the same time. But hopefully when I'm speaking, you feel that, because I'm never coming from a place of judgment. I'm coming from a place of healing, from where a lot of you are. I'm never coming from a place of just wanting to kick your butt, just to kick your butt. I'm always coming from a place of God has entrusted some gifts and talents to you on this side of heaven. He fully expects you to use them. You have a family that could a lot of times use mom's extra income. Some of you are sitting on gold mines of business, and it's my job to help pull that out of you and encourage you and inspire you so that you can have some freedom in your time and freedom in your finances. So when you know what your job is on this side of heaven, and I know what my job is, it makes it much easier. So Christy, I thank you. And I just want to pray a blessing over you, Christy, over you, over your business. I assume you have a business based on your words. I pray that God would just honor you for where you have given honor. I pray that you too would have people who come and encourage you. I pray that you would know that you are wise beyond your years. I see wisdom over you, Christy. And so the Lord's really going to use that wisdom to do something specific in you that's different than you've seen in other people. Just know when you have different opportunities come, I see them coming to you by the end of the year. I see fall, I see October. Christy, I've never actually given this specific of a word for someone on my podcast before, but you're going to have some opportunities come to you for business by October. And your first natural inclination might be like, ooh, I don't think so. And I want you to take a second look, and I want you to look again, and I want you to take it before the Lord, because I see the Lord doing something different in you than what you're imagining, and is going to be spectacular. So I just bless you with that. Pray over that, but I bless you with that in Jesus' name. So, all right. I love praying over the people that leave us podcast reviews. So thank you for that. Okay. So a lot of you know, my jam is teaching women how to make money in the online space. Amazon sales went up 44% last year to 108 billion with a B. That's $1 billion with a B dollars a year. In other words, people are spending money online like crazy. Now, even though the world is opening up, some of you, I know you're like, so Jen, do you still think that people are going to be buying online? Oh, heck to the yeah. A lot of people that started buying online last year who have never been purchasers in the online space, now they see what all of us introverts knew all along, how magnificent it is not to have to leave our house to go anywhere, to go shopping. And so are people going to continue to buy online? They absolutely are, 100%. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of brick and mortars. You're going to see, I know that there's a lot that have just closed. There are. And we just had the Nike store here in Kansas City down on the plaza, just closed down yesterday. I got the notification of that. And so there are stores closing, which means there'll be more online sales. People feel safer about that. So will people keep spending money online? They 100% will. Please don't use, I think that now that the world's opening up that I shouldn't do anything online. Don't use that as an excuse. Like, don't let yourself off the hook that easy. That's not true. So don't let yourself off the hook. Okay. So let's just talk about three things real quick. Let's just talk about starting a paid monthly group, which could also be called a membership course. Let's talk about courses, and let's talk about digital products just real fast. Okay. If you're thinking, how can I make money online? Or if you've been talking to your girlfriend and you guys are trying to come up with something together, like, please share this podcast. Okay. So number one, you could totally add a membership. Especially if you're a creator, there are so many women that have come through my coaching group. I could sit here and name a bunch of names off, women that you would know, that you probably follow. They have added a paid monthly group. They paint furniture, and now they have a monthly painting class. They do DIY, and now they have a DIY class, monthly group. They do decorating, and now they've started a decorating group. So it goes really easily with those of you that are makers, DIYers, crafters in particular. So, if you were going to do a membership, what's brilliant about the membership is you're able to teach people, instead of a one-on-one basis, you're able to teach many people at a time. So instead of selling one-to-one, because when you have a painting company like I did, I'd get one client, I'd work for one client, I'd get paid for one client, have to go find another client, get paid for that client, go have to find another client, get paid for that client. Like, it's different when you have a paid monthly group in the online space, because you create your content once and you sell it to many people. Does that make sense? That's the brilliance of the membership model. So usually they're a lucrative option. They're a great place to start if you like consistency. Now, if you're somebody that is a creative that hates consistency, you don't want to have to show up every week into a paid group, then a membership site is probably not for you. But I love the idea of a membership site. I've had mine for 4.5 years. A lot of you are in my inner circle because I know what's expected of me. It brings a lot of stability to my business. I feel like I can serve the most amount of people at a low price point possible. And so for me, I love that. You can also host it on a Facebook group, which doesn't cost anything. So it's a low barrier of entry. A lot of entrepreneurs will say, I know I want to start making money in the online space, but I just don't have a lot of money up front to invest. Well, you don't need anything really to start a membership site. You need a Facebook group. You need a way to take payments. You need some practical things like that. But starting a membership group is so easy. Now, if you're a maker, a DIY, or a painter, also a course can be really easy. Now, course is more geared for those of you who don't love consistency, or if you need an influx of cash fast into your business, I would not go the route of a membership site. I would go the route of a course. Why? Well, a course you can usually price higher. You'll probably have fewer people purchase it, but at a higher price point. Some people are intimidated about the idea of a monthly payment with a membership site, but they're willing to do a course that they know is 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. You can launch a course several times in a year. We've had my Better Way program launch once already this year. We are discussing launching it again. It was uber successful. I loved it. There are a lot of you that still want this content on how to make money in the online space. So you may see the Better Way coming out. Again, that's what you can do with courses. Once you've recorded it, it's done until you feel like you need to refresh, your content or give it a facelift. But you can teach anything in a course, from how to decorate cakes to how to paint watercolors to step-by-steps to, you could have a course on marriage. You can have a course on parenting or health and wellness or eating gluten. You can have a course on painting furniture or painting houses or starting a painting company, or how to teach kids watercolor classes, or just watercoloring in general. Like, the topic of a course can be so broad. And one thing I'm going to say this, Lord, let me not say this in a way that's offensive, but I believe that education as we know it has been changed forever by the year 2020. So I think that we discovered we can stay home and learn a lot from the comfort of our home, in our jammies, on our sofa. There's lots of college courses we can take, high school classes we can take, courses from entrepreneurs online that we can take at home. And so I do think that's one thing that we learned from 2020. So if you are needing, again, I just want to make sure that I go over this one more time, an influx of cash, go for a course over a membership site. If you're like, I just want to make enough money for our family to be able to go on vacation this summer, I would do a course instead of a membership site. Then you could offer a membership site on the back of it. Hey, you took this course on how to paint kitchen cabinets. Now I have a monthly group that you might need just like continued support all the time. You may want to have a community of other people who are in the cabinet painting business. Here's my monthly membership group for $27 or $37 or $47 on the back end of the course. Does that make sense? So you launch the course, membership can go after that. Third thing that I want to tell you real quick is, especially if you're a creator, maker, DIY, or painter, whatever, is that doing a digital product like an ebook, or making, PDFs, or maybe doing like a one-day online workshop or something, those are very lucrative as well. Those are very much one and done. You make the ebook, you put it up for sale on Amazon, you put it up for sale on your website, hands off. Makes some people really good money in the creative spaces. You can do a workshop that's just a one morning long. People can't join you. That's okay. They get the recording emailed to them or what have you. But that's a really great option as well. Now, if you hate the camera, I suggest you go the way of an ebook. If your content is stuff that people don't need to see a visual on, but they do need to read a lot of instructions, then I would go the way of like a PDF or something like that. For those of you who do like CVG files and things, templates, files, those do really well, and they require very little interaction from you. You make them, you record them, you design them, whatever, you get them up on Pinterest, you get them up on your website, you put them on Amazon, wherever, Etsy, and then you sell them, and you don't have to babysit that or be available to give a lot of support in that. Does that make sense? And so it's great supplemental income. A lot of times, digital products are not the number one way that people make money, but they can be a great way to make money. I was just giving advice to one of the women in our Better Way program who raises chickens, and she's got like 3 ebooks on how to start raising your own chickens, all the different equipment you're going to need for said chickens. She also does a lot of canning. And so she's got all these different ebooks, and she's putting them up for sale individually, but I told her package them also into a pack of 3 for a higher price. So you could basically are getting 2 for the price of 1, or 2.5 for the price of, wait, I said 2 for 1. I meant 3 for 2 or whatever. You know what I mean? And so that's a great way to kind of package some things up for a little higher price point. And so I hope that that helps. It's, again, it's having just a starting point sometimes. Having somebody go, you know what, this is what you should start with, is so helpful. So I hope that just talking about those 3 things, the membership sites, the courses, and the digital products, was helpful. We do have a quiz. If you've never taken my quiz before, it's fast. It'll take you 5 minutes. It's at jenniferallwood.com/quiz. And essentially the quiz asks you things like this. Hey, are you any good at taking photos? Do you like people? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Do you need, a chunk of money all at once? Do you like consistency? Yes or no? Like, it asks you all these questions about how you are wired and what you already have in terms of your business. Like, do you have a blog or no? And based on those 25 questions, it's going to come back and tell you the number one way I think that you should start first in terms of generating revenue online, and then second, third, fourth. It'll put them in order. So if you've ever taken one of those quizzes online, a personality quiz, then I want you to go take mine. If you've ever taken one of those, which Disney princess are you most like quizzes, I want you to go take mine. If you've ever taken like, which cheese are you most like, then I want you to go take my quiz. It's at jenniferallwood.com/quiz. Because it'll make you stop saying, well, I don't know what to do, therefore you don't do anything. Because if you take a quiz that I've used for thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs, and it tells you, girlfriend, you need to start with a course. Well, then there you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now you can't continue to say, I don't know what to do. Now you know what to do. Will you have the courage to do it? I don't know, but time will tell. So I hope that's helpful for one of you today. Online sales, still kicking butt. Please don't let this window of opportunity escape without you getting in the game online. People are making money like crazy, bringing home spouses, being able to quit second jobs, leaving day jobs. I want you to get a real good revelation of they don't have something that you don't have. They don't have this special knowledge that you don't. They don't know something, a secret that you don't. They're just more courageous, probably. Take the quiz, figure out what you're already most wired for, and then let's get the courage to go ahead and try it, okay? I'm rooting for you. Please make sure you're already subscribing to the podcast. Share this with a friend of yours who's wanting to make money in the online space too. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.